Train the muscles, not the joints.
Welcome back to Natural Glam Bodybuilding, and today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the natural bodybuilder controversy and something that I've been getting the entire time that I've been on YouTube for about last 10 years now. I've been on YouTube. I know a lot of you guys just found me, or some guys found me about 2 years ago, 3 years ago, but I've actually been doing this for a long time. So the algorithm has not been helping me out, to say the least, but either way, one thing I want to squash right now is this comment that I see repeatedly, and it's really annoying, honestly. To a certain extent. It's annoying because it's not true, and people say, oh, there are no natural bodybuilders, or a polygraph test or testing in general does not prove that you're a natural bodybuilder, because there are fraudulent natural bodybuilders out there. Now, although I agree there are fraudulent natural bodybuilders, that does not mean that every natural bodybuilder is a fraud. Now, one thing I want to do is backtrack a little bit to explain to you why there is a certain amount of misinformation going on. Okay, that's the right word, misinformation. So first of all, there are a lot of different types of natural bodybuilding shows or natural bodybuilding federations out there. Some are doing lie detector tests, some are only doing urine tests, some are barely testing at all. So there are fraudulent natural bodybuilding federations out there. So my point is that natural bodybuilding is a drug-free sport, but when you go into one federation, they don't test that well. They only test the winners, say, of a show, and it's only urine tested. They're not really doing lie detector tests or random tests or anything. So for the record, I have always been 100% natural drug-free bodybuilder, and I still am. I always will be. That's really my entire value system right there. Now, I competed in federations that lie detector tested and urine tested, and when I modeled for Muscle Media magazine back in '97, after I just won a few natural bodybuilding shows, I received a random drug test. I only got about 10 hours notice before my brother and I had to go and report to a medical clinic and give a urine test, right? So I have done all 3 tests repeatedly in basically, I did 18 shows, and I believe around 10 of them or so were lie detector and urine tested. So the bottom line is that a lot of the misinformation around this is because people will look at natural bodybuilders that compete in the urine tested shows, and everybody knows that urine tested shows have, let's just say, ways around them much more so than lie detector tested and urine tested shows. This is why natural bodybuilding brought in the lie detector test. Now, does that mean the lie detector test is 100% effective all the time? Well, of course not. Nothing is. But if you compete over and over and over again, and say a test is 90% effective or 95% effective or 80% effective, if you compete repeatedly, eventually you will get caught. And every single natural bodybuilding show I was in, people got caught and kicked out and disqualified. There was 2 or 3 people a show, actually. So the fact that lie detector tested shows don't work is not true. They do work, and you will notice it, because if you look at the lineup in a lie detector tested show, as they do in lie detector and urine tests like WMBF, you look at their top pros, and then you look at something like and their show, you'll see there's a massive weight difference between the 2 competitors, and massive difference in the depth of muscle leanness and the shreddedness and the pumpy and lumpy look, okay? The ones that are only urine tested are like 20 to 30 pounds on average heavier at the same height. So you can tell that there's something different going on in those shows. And those are the guys a lot of times that are claiming that they're natty when they're really not, or not all of them. Maybe some of them are, but a lot of the guys that you are looking at and saying false naturals and all this are basically the ones that are usually just competing in the urine tested shows, some which are sanctioned by the IFBB, by the way. There are certain natural federations, but they're semi-natural. They're not fully natural federations. They're not really testing on all different ways to make sure that the sport is drug-free. So now the issue is right now is that a lot of people on the internet, because they don't have a relationship with the person they're talking to, they'll see them through the eyes of doubt and suspicion. And I understand that, and I get it, because people have been lied to so many times by our government, by Big Pharma, by people in general, or the shysters and the con artists of the world, right? it only makes sense that they will also, you know, doubt somebody that is telling them something. They'll say, oh, back that up or prove it or whatever. And of course, you go through as many hoops as you want to prove it. But if somebody never really gets to know you and doesn't know your credibility of character, they don't really know who you are. They just judge you based on your personality, but not necessarily your actions or your integrity. Then you're always going to have this problem, right? People are always going to look at you like, oh, well, maybe you're lying, maybe you're telling the truth, I don't know, right? But the funny thing is these same freaking people will trust the government blindly and not doubt them. That's the hilarious part, right? I find this is so funny because you make videos on YouTube, people are like, I don't know if you're telling the truth, but then they'll believe some asshole that's going to make billions of dollars off them. I don't understand that. That doesn't make sense to me at all. So what I'm trying to say though is this, is that I'm 100% natural. I've done all the testing. And if you get to know me for a period of time, just like any friends or family members or people who know me for decades, they know 100% that I'm telling the truth. I am 100% drug-free. I always have been. So as you apply some of the things that I'm suggesting to try in your training, you'll see that a lot of my philosophies are pretty sound. And regardless of whether you believe anything about me, try some of the philosophies at least, try some of the things that I'm talking about, and see if they work for you. That's it. I'm not basically saying I'm the end-all be-all and everything I say is exactly right for you when it comes down to training, but there could be some gems or pieces of advice that you might appreciate, right? So rather than getting out the crucifix and assuming that I'm a vampire, you know, just assume that I'm here to help you a little bit because there's nothing in it for me otherwise. I'm just here to make some videos and to enjoy the nice falling leaves and to enjoy nature. And yeah, if I sell a workout program or two to support you making the videos, because camera equipment isn't free, batteries aren't free, internet's not free, right? My time's not free, then we're good. You know what I mean? I'm not saying that you are not allowed to investigate what is the nature of your own reality in your body. I'm not trying to control you or nothing. So before you hit me with the hatred, just give me the benefit of the doubt and then just see what happens, you know? You know, at least engage in a relationship with me first before you automatically assume what my intentions are, right? And that's the thing. I find that giving somebody a chance or giving people a chance at least before you automatically just discard them it's not a bad idea. But that's just me, you know. Sometimes you got to try the Brussels sprouts. You know, maybe you don't like the Brussels sprouts. Maybe you like them after you try them. But you don't know until you try them. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? That's the way it works. Mountain. So yeah. Long story short, there's lots of different natural bodybuilding federations out there. Some only urine test, and those are not natural federations. Not really. They're not natural bodybuilding federations. They're only pretending to be, and that's why you see some guys that are like, almost like Mr. Olympia gains that are claiming natural, and they're not. You know what I'm saying? So that's all I got to say about that. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. If you need to get hold of me, just go to naturalbodybuilding.com, and thanks to the patron supporters, and take care for now.